happy fall. It finally feels like fall today. It's a beautiful day, and we have some shares to show you. These are the small shares over here. I'm going to tell you what's in them and also just give you a couple tips on how to store your share and shelf life. So you're going to receive either mustard greens or kale. There are various different kinds, so you could get curly kale, black kale, red Russian. This actually is called Highland kale. It's our own special kale variety that we grow here. And there's some spinach, some Bosc pears, radishes, cilantro, some acorn squash. It's a winter squash. Usually you can store this for a few months, but with the rainy weather that we've had, probably have about a few weeks instead. That would be the optimal time to eat these, so I recommend using them up, you know, sometime soon. A lot of people like to do a classic maple brown sugar squash. There's also different savory ways to do it. And I'm going to post a 1-minute video of how you can do it both ways, real easy. And then we've got some broccoli and onions. Onions, as you know, are a terrific soup starter. Most soups that you see start with a chopped onion, and this is soup season. So, those are items in the smalls, along with gala apples. So over to the large, we've got some larger quantities of these. We have some leeks. This is a nice, subtle, oniony flavor. Don't know if you've ever cleaned a leek. It's pretty easy. They do need to be cleaned though, because they are a little gritty inside. So basically what you do, you chop off this end, you chop off this end, and then you give it a slit most of the way through, and there are lots of little folds. You hold that under some running water and just open up those folds and let the grit wash through, and then it will be wonderful to cook with. Here's some a different variety of kale here, the curly kale. Double onions. Here's some sorrel. Sorrel has a bright acidic flavor similar to lemon, and you can of course toss it into a salad. It's also really nice worked into some pasta or some soup. You could even make a little pesto out of it, and that goes a long way. Here's some more of that broccoli. You'll see the greens are attached. You can use those greens as well. Broccoli is of course good to keep in the refrigerator. If you have an extra bag from one of your other items, you can store it in the extra bag and it will last a lot longer for you. There is bok choy in the large shares this week. There's green, but there's also purple, which is a little bit different. As you see, it has much more leaf than the green, and then a little bit less of the stalk. So this is one of my favorites right here. The leaves are delicious. You can cook the stalk too. Cooks up really quick. And there is cauliflower. There's the cilantro and a larger bag of spinach. So over here to the fruit only shares, here are Bosc pears. Of course, they are a great, you know, eating pear. You can let these sit out at room temperature for a couple days. They'll soften and sweeten up really nicely for you. Until then, you can keep them in the fridge. And these are also very good to bake with. So I'm posting little collection recipes that you can use with cooking your Bosc pears. And Granny Smith apples, a nice tart apple, and Macoun apples. They're a sweet one, but they've got a really nice crisp to them. And of course, apples you want to store in the fridge. And let's see, what have I forgotten? Oh right, one thing I did want to say just about onions, potatoes, and winter squash. Those are things that you want to keep in a cool, dark place. Not really the refrigerator, but if you have a pantry or a cabinet, they taste optimally and last the longest that way for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this bountiful array of food and have a great week. Thanks.